Hi, good morning. Let's talk about when moving to a new country is not the answer. Okay, this video is not going to be what you think. Let's talk about when you want to leave your country. For me, that would be the United States of America, right? When you want to leave your country, there's not only one way to do it. Moving to another country is not the only way to leave the United States. You can spend some time bopping around. You can leave the country without moving to a new country. So today we're going to talk about when that works, like when that makes more sense for people, when that might be a better choice, or at least something to consider, to mull over while you're leaving, while you're making your exit plan. Okay? All right. Make sure that you stick around to stick around through this video because I'm going to give you a bunch of resources. I'm going to drop some resources on you. Okay? Welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter, house sitting right now in Temecula, California. I am the creator of House Sitter School and the co-creator of Exodus Summit, and I help Black women take sabbaticals or career breaks. I help Black women bop around the world as a nomad. I help Black women move abroad. If you're here, you're interested in this conversation, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and then turn on notifications. Ring that notification bell and you'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live with my friends. Hi, friends. Hi, Vanessa Ruiz. Hey, Shay. Hey, one sister. Good morning, Mom. That's Connie Perry. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Janice and Joan Trott. Hey, Kaya Michelle and Sister Deity and Maya. Feliz Sabado, chicas. Happy Saturday, Adelia. Audacious V and Virgin and Son and Amina. Hi, guys. So in case you can't tell, I'm in a house sit and I got flustered this morning. I came downstairs. The dogs don't sleep with me. And I thought I had this light set up in a good way, but I don't have it set up in a good way. So I need to fix that. I came downstairs this morning and somebody had pooped in the house. So I thought I was going to come downstairs and just get started. And I had to do cleanup. House sitters pick up poop. It's a thing. It's a job requirement. So I had to do some poop pickup and some talking to. I had to give them a good talking to before I could get started. I don't know. I know I don't normally have to explain why I'm late because I'm always late. But that is an explanation. Okay. I'm house sitting here through the beginning of December. There's 4 little dogs. One stays separate upstairs, separated, and then the 3 are down here. They don't like me already, which is not common. Dogs love me. The one of them doesn't care about me either way. She'll sit on the sofa with me. The other 2 are still barking at me every time I walk around. But I'm the boss of them, so I don't think the pooping was malicious. I think the pooping was me not understanding that they go out late. They're used to going out for a potty break late. I took them on a potty break at like 8:30, and then I got in the bed. And I think that didn't work for them. So that's what's happening. All right, let me get my water, and let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's talk about the alternative to moving to a new country, which is bopping around, which is being free, okay? September of 2015, I left my job and left the United States, and I haven't lived in the US since. And it's now November of 2024. I have really enjoyed the freedom that comes from not having a home. Okay, so this is going to be a conversation about letting go of people's expectations for you, letting go of your own expectations, trying something new, and letting yourself experience real freedom for probably the first time in your life. This is an alternative to picking up and moving abroad. This is an alternative to going to a new country, picking out a place to stay, and committing to staying in that place. I want to talk to you today about nomadic life as a liberation practice, right? As a way to be free, as a way to be untied to a place, to a thing, to other people. I know it can be scary, but that's what I'd like to talk about, okay? Angela says she's here for this. Hi. Thanks, Angela. All right, so rules around here, you say good morning, okay? So if you're here, get your little fingers out and say good morning. Thank you. If you're watching the replay, hello, friends in the future. I hope it's amazing there. Say hello, okay? If it's not morning when you're watching, you can say good afternoon or good evening or good night, but say hey in the comments. Thank you. And if you're here, say hey in the chat. Okay? Yeah, so because Black excellence is so demanding, right? And because the whole idea of like fitting into the capitalist structure on its own is so demanding, we don't have an experience of living free, right? People, Black women in particular, we have not yet experienced really living free. We've experienced following along on the acceptability train, right? Following along on a path that somebody else decided was the pathway to a good life. And so we know college, we know grad school, we know home ownership, we know rental property ownership, we know a certain way to live. But a lot of us have never been free to make a new decision, free to try something else, free to go someplace, free to be with some people that you know with some strangers. We've never really experienced free. If this work, if this community is liberation work, right? Then let's try real liberation instead of picking up and going to a place and recreating what we already knew. If you've never been able to be anywhere for any amount of time and then go wherever else in your life, let's try that. I'm not saying we don't move abroad, right? It's been 9 years and I'm moving to Costa Rica, right? And I'm not saying we don't get residency in another place because I do think it's very important for Black people in the United States to have another country that will let us in, right? If things continue on the path that they're already on, it's not even a shift. If things continue on the path that they're already on, I do think it's important for us to have a residency in a country that will let us in. But that doesn't mean that we have to move to a country to leave the United States. So today I want to talk about leaving the United States without moving to another country. Okay? All right, this house is fully decorated for Christmas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 Christmas trees in this house, okay? When I got here, I was like, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. There are Christmas trees everywhere, garland everywhere, lights everywhere. They're ready. Okay, he said, we like to get started early. All right, yeah, I see. I saw a comment somewhere in there. Yeah, I saw a comment somewhere about the decor. Yeah, I'm house sitting. My house sit here until the early December. Then I have about a week or two off, and then I go to Puerto Rico for a house sit for Christmas, mid-December through the new year. Yeah, house sitter season. You know, I love house sitting around this time of the year. Okay, let me get to my notes now. Okay, let me actually, I made notes. I made notes. Okay, so let's talk about how to embrace nomadic life if you've never been a person who could be anywhere and do anything, and that sounds really scary. Is there anybody here that's thinking like it sounds really scary to not have a home somewhere? It sounds really scary to just be out in the world and have no place that is my place, that it belongs to me. If you're feeling that, you can go ahead and say it. I don't remember feeling afraid of being untethered, but remember, I am a floater. There are different kinds of people. There are people who like structure and stability, and there are people who like to float free, and I've always been a floater. I'm a Cancer, if that makes a difference to you. And I like to be free. I like to have nothing. I like to be like, let's see what happens. There are people for whom let's see what happens is really scary. Virgin says, I'm sick of the traditional path. Black excellence, including my own, is making me sick. This is quite literal, right? Quite literally. Living somebody else's life it's a poison in your life, right? You probably know somebody who is super outwardly bitter about living someone else's life, about having to do something that they didn't choose to do. Well, you know what, friend? You might be in a very similar boat, right? You might be on a very similar path, living a life that you didn't sign up for, a life that someone told you this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Well, no, that's not the only way. It's a way, but it's not the only way. So nobody's saying they're afraid. You can say it. This is a place where you can say that if you want to. If you don't want to say that you're afraid to be out in the world with no home, okay? If you don't want to say that you're afraid to be out in the world just floating free, I'm still going to talk to you. But if you do feel like you want to say those words out loud in a place where we will understand, you can say that out loud. I'm not here to convince anybody to do anything any particular way. There is that's not liberation, right? But I'm here to let you know that this way exists, right? And let you know that some of you who are looking to do a more permanent or a more structured thing would really love a little freedom, okay? Rita Malone says, I also have a gypsy spirit, okay? Versi Martin says, I'm ready to go. Okay, all right. So let's talk about, yeah, we left Black excellence alone. It's not for us. It was never for us. Black excellence was never going to bring everyone along, right? Black excellence was only for some people. And it was always going to drive those people to an early grave anyway, right? All of the striving, all of the do this for other people's opinions and gazes, do this for other people's validation was never sustainable. That was never a way that we were meant to live. I know I was not. So yeah, we reject it. We reject Black excellence over here. If that's scary to you, stick around. It's okay if it's scary. It's all we've known. But we about to know something new. Okay? We about to try it a new way. Okay, all right. So C09877791. I'm very afraid of giving up everything I've worked for. It's not giving up. Everything that you've worked for, everything that you've done has gotten you to a place in your life where you can now be free. Right? If that home that you worked for and that job and that career, right? Those things, were always a means to an end. That job was never supposed to be your life. The job was supposed to give you something. And for some of the women in this chat, what that job gave you is at least enough money to be able to say, I'm not going to work for a while. That's what that got you. That's not nothing. And you're not throwing that away. You're going to use that to your advantage. Maybe what that home gave you is some rental income, right? Or it's a profit when you make the sale. It's not giving it up. You're not throwing it in the trash. You're using it as it is intended for some, right? As it can be intended for its intended use, right? A career's intended use is to get you the things that you want in your life. That's the intended use of a career. We've made a career the whole life. But no, it's supposed to be a means to an end. Giving up those things is not what we're talking about. We're talking about using them to our advantage, using them in a way that makes sense for us, using them in a way that supports us, right? That makes us the priority instead of the thing. All I want you to do is make yourself the priority instead of that house, right? Yourself the priority instead of that job or that career. If you have a desire, there are not very many women on this channel who are not interested in traveling, right? Because it's all I talk about. As far as y'all know, it's like my only hobby. I do read and I do some other stuff, but it's all I talk about. So I know I do feel confident in saying if you're here, you're into travel. Even whether you've done a lot of it or not very much yet, you're into it. The job, the house, all of those things are supposed to be a means to get you those things. It's supposed to be a means to get you the life that you want. The freedom. They're supposed to checklist, right? And for some people, a nice house, a job, they were means to get them to some freedom. All I want you to do is use them for that purpose and quit saving that for later, right? I call it magic number living, where we're like, well, when I hit 65, when I hit 72, you don't have to live that magic number living. You can live like that now. You can have those things now. Those things that you wanted from your life, that you worked to get, go ahead and use them now. Go ahead and access them now. even if it's going to look different. It's going to look different if you take a retirement or a mini retirement at 40, for 50, then that's going to look different than a full-on retirement at 80 for most, or 65 for most people. For most, not everybody. Some people, it does not look any different. But the whole point of all of the things that you've been doing was to get you to some freedom. All I want you to do is run towards that freedom. Get to that freedom today. I don't know how to work the thermostat in here. House sitting is so fun, but there are some struggles that I'm having today. I don't know how to work the thermostat. It's only on 72, but it feels warmer than that in here. Okay? Let's take advantage of the advantages. Okay? So, let's see. Oh, look at this. Jay's views. I already work remote. Will be leaving the country month at a time. Can't leave permanently. My son is a college athlete. Okay, good. All right. Cat Ran, I like the idea of having a home base and bopping in the area. Okay. Let's talk. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about a different thing. Let's talk about not having a home base. Okay? Let's talk about what that is like and what that might do for you. Okay, so a way to live your life as a nomad, right? A nomadic life. So, okay, let me tell you why I'm not opposed to the home base concept, but first be free. Like, seriously, first be free. Be free. This is your world. And I feel like Black women have a special, that we were created, uh, this is your world. We are Black women. This is our world. We birthed this world. Everything that is in existence exists because we created it. And we created the people who created it. This is our world. So part of the reason that I really like being a nomad is that I belong everywhere. And it's really nice to go out and flex that you belong everywhere. Being a Black woman, when you travel around the world, well, it will remind you that you belong everywhere and that you're the creator of everything. So that's a reason to go out, give yourself some time to not be tethered. The bigger reason, I think, maybe the bigger reason to go out and not be tethered and not have a home base for a while and just live in the world, okay? Another reason to do that is you don't know what things you do want in your new life because you're holding on to what American capitalism and Black excellence and the church and all these other people who had to say. You're holding on to their ideas of how to live. And it's really, really nice, really, really freeing to let go of all of that. Start from scratch, kind of. Let go of it all and see what happens. See what you do want to keep and what you don't want to keep. Be free first. I know it's scary, okay? Because we've never been told that this is acceptable. But I'm here to tell you that it is acceptable. I don't have a place yet. I will very soon. I don't have a place yet with my stuff. Everything that I'm moving, except for my parents' house. I have some things, I have stuff in a bedroom in my parents' house. But when I'm moving around the world, moving about the world, the stuff that I have with me is the stuff that I've chosen to bring with me and nothing else. And the place that I lay down and make my home, I have to decide how to make these places a home. And it's really taught me what is important to me and what matters to me. What is me and what is other people's opinions of what should be in a house or in a life, right? I think we're just coming to terms with what Black excellence has done for us. We'll never fully understand what capitalism has done to us because we cannot, even the most wildly visionary people struggle to imagine a world without a capitalist system. We're struggling with that, right? But even if we can't figure out what life would be if we don't live in a capitalist structure, we still It's hard to figure out what life would be without Black excellence until you reject Black excellence fully. And I really submit that it's hard for Black women to move to a place and not carry that stuff with them. What your home should look like, what kinds of stuff you should have, what it should feel like. Start over. It's okay to start over. It's okay to be free. Free, right? If renting a home or owning a home means when somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to such and such for 6 months, you want to come," and you want to go, but you can't go because the house and the rent and the, right? Are you free? Or did you just make that house your master? I see that enough that that's a concern. Okay? I see that enough that it's a concern. I see enough times people not able to do the things that they want to do because they've made a thing their master. And it's not just a house. Black women, we have a lot of things that we have to rework our relationship with. We talk a lot here about hair and your hair being your master. I can't do XYZ because what about my hair? I can't move to wherever because who gonna do my hair, right? Hair is your master. I can't do whatever because my house, my rent, my mortgage, that place is your master, right? Be free. Let's spend some time being free. Okay? So, yes. Yes. There is change has come. Change has come. I see it. I feel it. And I want us to use that, jump on the change train. I want us to hang on to it and ride that change. I want us to know that we don't have to go back. It's really easy to go back to what we already knew, even if what we already knew doesn't serve us. And I just want us to be free. Okay? The world is ours for the taking, Tamika White says. We are the new face of global travelers. We are the world. Okay? It's our world. We're Black women, the first human people, right? It's our world, and everything is ours. And let's see it. Let's see it without the constraints of some master, without a house telling you, well, here's where you can go and here's where you can't go, without your hair being your master. Here's where you can go and here's where you can't go. There's nobody do your hair in this place, so you can't live there. You can't visit there, right? Let's be free, okay? So, what I said I was going to do is walk through some ways to embrace nomadic life, okay? We're still leaving the country, leaving the United States, but we're going to be free out in the world. Some of us, some of us. For some of you, this is never, you're not going to do it. I know that. Some of you are not going to do it. You're going to go someplace, not only are you going to rent, but you're going to buy, you're going to tether yourself to a place. Some of you will do that, okay? But let's talk about those of you who do have a little wild streak, who do have a little freedom yearn, who have a little yearning for freedom. Let's talk about it, okay? So how to embrace nomadic life. What do I want to say first? First, okay, let's talk logistics. Let's keep the costs down. As you know, house sitting is a wonderful way to keep the costs down when you want to see the world. I'm house sitting in California right now. This part of California I kind of like. Not Los Angeles. I cannot stand Los Angeles. But in Southern California, but in a little bit, Temecula, Palm Springs, Joshua Tree. I really like these parts of California. House sitting lets me be here in a place where I like to be. House sitting got me to Zion National Park. I didn't house sit in Zion National Park, but it's why I got to this part of the world. Between a conference in Las Vegas and this house sit, I had the money to spend in Zion National Park. And that was wonderful. Going there and being with the mountains and the river and the whatever was really wonderful. So if you're interested in house sitting, I have a house sitter toolkit at, I should have some links ready. I have a new house sitter toolkit that can give you some info on getting started house sitting. Copy, paste. Okay, house sitting does not have to be the only way that you keep your expenses down, but it's worked for me. Okay, when house sitting is not a paid job when you house sit through trusted house sitters, which is who I house sit through. But house sitting is a way to to not have to pay for a place to stay. So I'm in this house with 6 Christmas trees, and I'm not paying to stay here. And I'm here until early December. All right, so keep expenses low. When we think about moving and traveling full time, a lot of times we think of that being a really expensive proposition compared to living in a place, but it's absolutely not. It doesn't have to be. You can still travel on the same budget that you would live in a place, right? You can travel throughout a region on a similar budget as to that you would spend to move there and live there, right? For one, you can find accommodation in your price point, right? You can just find accommodation in your price point. Airbnb is a thing, and there's other options. Airbnb is not the only player in the game. But renting short term, yes, it's a little more expensive than being a long term renter, but you can still find things inside of your price point, right? It also means that you may be able to spend time in lower cost of living places than where you'd want to live. It's easier to visit a lower cost of living place than it is to live and move to a low cost of living place. It's much more fun to visit Cambodia, I think, than to live in Cambodia. Much more fun to visit Vietnam, which we're doing very soon, than it is to live in Vietnam, right? Some places are nice, spend a lot of time places, but not like get residency in and learn the language and do some of that work. So, number one, keep the costs low so that you can embrace being free without feeling like you're throwing money down the drain. And a way that you can keep costs low is to house sit. A way that you can keep costs low is to move slowly. Just because you're bopping around doesn't mean you need to be in 3 cities in 10 days, right? Move slowly. A 1 month Airbnb, 1 month of one Airbnb in 1 month will cost you less than 4 Airbnbs in 1 month, right? So move slowly. Go take the slower mode of transportation. Take a ferry to a place. Take a train to a place instead of flying in places where flying is more expensive. Move more slowly. Cut costs in those ways so that you won't see full-time travel as being a whole lot more expensive than moving someplace. Okay? Keep costs down. Number two, get health care. Let's talk about health insurance. Number two way to embrace nomadic life, because the thing that makes people anxious sometimes about not living anywhere is what you do about health care. So embrace the nomadic version of health care, which is getting travel medical insurance. There is nomad insurance. There is health insurance for nomads. I've used World Nomads and Alliance. I've never filed a claim, so I can't tell you who's better and what. But I know that having the insurance makes you feel more relaxed. So have insurance that covers you as a nomad, and know a little bit about how to get health care in the country that you're going to, or countries. When you're visiting a new country, know a little bit about what health care might look like there. Because sometimes you'll pop into a place where you can get something really, 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 really cheap. When I was house sitting in Lake Chapala, Mexico in 2018, I was house sitting for a bunch of senior citizens. And they were like, okay, now you need to go to this place, this hospital, or this medical center. They call it a well women's exam. They have a menu. You just tell them you want the well women's exam. I think it was $150. It was a GYN checkup. It was a hormone checkup. It was a breast exam. Might have been a colonoscopy included. I don't remember. Joan might be here. I think Joan's the one who told me about it. She's not a senior citizen, but we had senior friends. I might have been, I can't remember who told me about it. I think it was $150. So what you may find is you may land in a place or intentionally travel to a place where you can get some really good health care for pennies on the dollar compared to what you pay in the US. And so that will help you embrace being a nomad a little more. Okay? Healthcare. And then, so insurance, know what kind of stuff you can get there and what it costs. And that's about it, right? Having insurance and then knowing what things you want to pay for out of pocket or through your insurance will help you feel a little better about being a nomad, about leaving the country but not having a home anywhere, not having a new home. Keep costs down. Healthcare. Number three, make money if you want to, if you need to. You don't always need to be making money. I think it's a perfectly acceptable method of living to make some money, save some money, and then spend that money. Be in a making money season, and it's okay also to be in a spending money season when you're not making money, but you're spending the money that you saved for this period. That is why we take career breaks and sabbaticals, so that we can have a period in our lives where we're not making money, where we're using the money that we already made, that we already saved for its intended purpose. But if you're going to feel really, if that's going to be really hard for you in the beginning, give yourself a period of time where you're going to go and make money while you're traveling. Start with nothing. Start with not working. Give yourself time when you don't work. If you have the money, if you have some savings, start with that. If you can afford 3 months, 6 months where you're not working, do that. Okay? But then when it's time to make money, make sure that you have already a plan on how you're going to make money to keep traveling. If you want to live like a nomad for a while, if you want to be free, find ways to make enough money to be free, right? Enough ways that you don't have to come back to the US and get a job in an office. Inside it, let's see, when is the last time? Oh, we just talked about that. Let's see, what is that video called? Jobs for Black women who want to move abroad. I'm going to drop that link. So we just got together last Saturday in this community and shared what we do for money so that we can afford to leave the country. Okay, so if you want to hop on that video now, you're welcome. Okay, you're welcome to go ahead and hop on, watch that video now, because we talked about the women. I shared, the women in this chat and I shared what we do for money so that we can be wherever we want to be in the world for however long we want to be there. Beauty and Beyond says YouTube is a great way. YouTube is a way. I'm not saying YouTube is a great way. YouTube is a great way for me. My last YouTube paycheck was 2,200. No, we just got paid on the 21st. But my couple last YouTube paychecks were $2,200. But I'm used to making more like $4,400, right? YouTube is a way to make money so you can be wherever you want to be in the world. But there are a lot of ways, and I shared everything in that video. I think I talked about every single way that I make money. And here, Deborah. And did I not link to it? Oh yeah, I linked to it. I shared every way that I make money, and a lot of women in the chat shared ways that they make money so that they can live where they want to live in the world, even if that is everywhere. Even if the answer is, I am free. Libria Jones is hosting the bonus workshop for Exodus Summit 2024 attendees on Monday. Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Libria Jones' workshop on finding remote work happens. So if you have your all access pass to Exodus Summit 2024, she's coming to teach you. It's a workshop, and you're going to work alongside her. She's coming to work alongside you to find remote work with your skill set. So that's a resource that I'm going to point you to. I told you that I'm going to point you to some resources. That's a resource I'm going to point you to. Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you have your all access pass to Exodus Summit 2024, make sure that you're at that session. If you're one of those people who needs to make some money to be free, okay? If you're in the money making season, that is a way to be free. But inside of the video, what ways did we talk about? I talked, of course, about YouTube and coaching as ways to make money to live anywhere in the world. House sitting as a way to lower my expenses so I need less money to live on. We talked about being a virtual assistant. We talked about some new jobs out in the world, project managers and scrum masters, and some jobs that are out in the world that a lot of people have skill set for. They just don't know yet. Maybe you need one extra certification, and that may open up some doors for you. We talked about healthcare Telemedicine, people who work in healthcare doing telemedicine. We talked about teaching and how teachers can leave the classroom and teach something else online, and how good that has been for teachers. So inside of that video, a lot of women gave their experiences with things, right? Their experiences doing things. Hey, Janice, yes, you can still get the All Access Pass to Exodus Summit 2024 at exodussummit.com. Let me find a link for you. Yes, the answer is yes. So you can still get your All Access Pass. If you buy your All Access Pass to Exodus Summit 2024 today, what are you getting? You're getting the replays from all of the sessions that happened for through September 30th of 2025, right? Through September of 2025, you're getting those replays. You're getting the bonus workshop with Libria Jones on finding remote work that happens on Monday. You're getting the bonus workshop on December 8th with Janita Lawal on creating a school plan for your kids. If you're gonna like world school slash homeschool slash international school your kids, how to create your kids' education plan, you get those workshops. You get the replay to Adalia's session, which just happened, Adalia's money math workshop, which walked us through Move Abroad money math. Replays, and that's what you get. Okay, that's what you get if you get your all access pass to Exodus Summit 2024, and you can still do that now. Libria's workshop is on Monday, and Monday the 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you get your all access pass now, you can be live in that workshop. If you're watching the replay and you're seeing this later, you can get the all access pass later, but it means you're going to get the replay to Libria's session, not live, right? If you get it after Monday, if you get your all access pass after Monday, you'll watch the replay of Libria's session instead of being in the session live, okay? And Adalia's replay. If you get it after December 8th, Janita's session, you'll have the replay to it instead of being able to be in it live. Okay, that's the difference. All right. It's 7 a.m. I don't know if y'all realize that I'm in California. This Pacific time is the stupidest time. Being on Pacific time is the stupidest time zone there is. I've been in a lot of time zones, and I've done these live streams from a lot of time zones. Pacific time, I don't know how y'all live like this. How do you do this? Being 3 hours behind Eastern time? Yuck. Part of the year, Costa Rica is 2 hours behind Eastern time. And part of the year, Costa Rica is 1 hour behind Eastern time, because Costa Rica doesn't change time zones. A lot of places don't do that anymore. They don't change time anymore. But I can't take this 3 hours behind Eastern time. Hello, Aurora. I can't handle it. Let me get up and do some jumping jacks so I can do this live stream. How am I doing? Can y'all tell that I'm groggy? Can y'all tell I'm groggy? I'm trying my hardest. I didn't, problem number one, the dogs messed up my timing for getting myself together with the poop fest in the kitchen this morning. And problem number two is I haven't had coffee yet. I haven't made coffee yet. I'm trying not to have coffee so early in the day. I'm taking the vitamins from Black Girl Vitamins, and one of them is supposed to be on an empty stomach. So I'm trying to figure out my food and coffee timing. It's hard. It's hard to be 3 hours behind Eastern time. Hi, Sarah. Good morning. Good morning, Sarah. All right, all right. So that's what we said. We have talked about keeping costs down. We've talked about healthcare. We've talked a little bit about making money, okay? So another way to embrace nomadic living, right? If you want to leave the United States, but you don't necessarily want to move somewhere. Another thing to do to embrace nomadic living, the fourth and final thing I put on my list, which is not the last thing because I already saw a couple good questions, but the final thing I wrote down is you've got to get used to rejecting other people's opinions of you. This is another Black excellence conversation, okay? This is more about rejecting Black excellence. Other people's opinions of what you do will have you feeling like you're doing your life wrong if you don't have a home, if you don't have multiple homes, if you're not tied down somewhere. Being free is really offensive to a lot of people. A lot of people just really are like, but you don't have, but you don't do, but you don't, right? They don't get it. I think people are more okay with you not having a job than they are okay with you not having your own place to live, with you not having a real house, right? They just don't get it. But it's freedom. And I think that there is just a real problem with freedom. There's just a real anti-freedom mentality out there. Give yourself an opportunity to be free, which is the 80th time I've said that today. And that includes not tying yourself down to a place. But you have to understand that people are going to hate it. People are going to hate it. If you're not in community with the Exodus Summit Squad, you may never hear anybody say, oh, good, I'm leaving my house. I sold my house, so I rented out my house, and I'm just going. I'm just going. I'm packing my bags, and I'm going somewhere. Most people will never hear anything positive in response to that unless you're inside of the Exodus Summit community, where we're like, congratulations. I'll meet you in Vietnam February 20th, okay, right? The idea of not tethering yourself to a place, it really offends people and it upsets people. So a way to embrace nomadic life is you're going to have to be okay. You're going to have to be okay with people not getting it. And with people thinking you're doing it wrong. People thinking you're doing your life wrong. You got to know what's right for you. There are times in my life when everything has just come together and worked out for me so amazingly well that I know I'm doing the right thing, right? You have to recognize your signs. I was just in Zion National Park and I was like, man, I am like buzzing at a little like harmonious buzz. I feel a real harmonious buzz in this place. There's like these mountains and you're in a canyon and you're just walking and the river is right beside you. There were people riding bikes back and forth, but it still felt very alone in a good way. I still felt really alone. I was like, man, I am buzzing, like harmony. Harmony. If nothing else, I know right now I am where I'm supposed to be. I am in the right place. I have made the right decisions to get myself to the right place. I have used my resources appropriately, right? I have quit my jobs, taken the cash and run from my jobs. I have taken the cash and run from, well, not taken the cash, I have run from my houses, right? To get myself to this place. And the way I'm buzzing right now, all of that was right, right? All of that was the right decision to get me right here, right now. That's how I felt this week in Zion National Park. And I know, it's not the only time, right? I know how to recognize the signs that say, oh yeah, it's right. This is right. I hope that you can experience those things by putting yourself in position to experience those things. Experience what it feels like to see things really working together for you. Yeah. But things can't work together for you when you're doing all the work. They're antithetical. If you're doing all the work, then things can't work together for your good. If you have to do everything, if you have to do everything to make things work, then things are not working together for your good. I happen to wholeheartedly believe that the life I'm supposed to live is a life where things work together for my good, where I'm not supposed to be the one doing all of the work. And I think that's probably how humans are supposed to live. I don't think I'm special, but I do think that if you have to do everything and force everything to happen, you're missing out on the better. on the better that's waiting. It's waiting for you to just let some things go. Float a little bit. Float just a little bit and see how things work out for you. I say that to Jewel a lot. Jewel Pearson, Ms. Bohemian Soul. I'm like, are you seeing how things are just really working out for you? There's hard times. Jewel is moving her tiny house now, right, to another location. There's some things are hard and they take effort, but things do really work out. And it's nice to see it in other people's lives too, right? If you're doing all of the work, you're not letting things work out for you. And I think that's how you were designed for things to just work out for you, things to just fall into place, things to conspire in your favor. Things have really been conspiring in my favor over the last few years. I was going to say weeks. I was going to say weeks. For the last few years, things have really been conspiring in my favor. I've been in the way some. I've been in the way some. Right? I don't want to say the word, but you know I'm about to say the book. I've been in the way some. But even with me being in the way some, things are really falling into place for me over and over. There's flow. Hi, Jewel. There's flow in life. I think that is one of the reasons that Black excellence has been so offensive to me because it is so anti-flow. It is so force, 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 force. You got to force this. You got to strive, struggle, strain. When really, like, there is flow. There is flow. Audacious V says, once we decide, the universe aligns. I've seen it. I'm a witness, all right? I'm a witness from small to big. Just a few weeks ago, I'd made a video, I think on the other channel. I have two channels, Stephanie Perry and Stephanie Perry Media, and we have the Exodus Summit channel. But I think it was on the other channel, I made a video about how I have not hit my money goals for 2024, and I've washed my hands of it. I've cut ties with 2024, I've moved into 2025, right? But that meant that there were four things that I wanted to do with some of that money that I am not going to be able to do with that money, but I still want to do, right? One of those things was I wanted in person, I wanted one-on-one coaching with Rachel Rogers. I'm in Rachel Rogers' community and group. And I've been to the conference twice, ROI Summit. I've been to her conference twice, but I wanted in person, I wanted one-on-one coaching from her. But I didn't make the money that I was supposed to make to pay for that, right? I think it's called the Inner Circle, but I get names of things wrong, right? That's the thing that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the name wrong. I think it's called the Inner Circle. I wanted to upgrade from We Should All Be Millionaires to the Inner Circle, but I didn't make the money that I was gonna use to do that. So I was like, okay, well, let me figure out how I can still get this coaching from her without paying for it, right? Some other things I wanted to do, I think I told y'all this. I wanted to pay a interior designer when I get a place in Costa Rica. I wanted to pay an interior designer to come and decorate the house for me so that I can just walk in the door and be like, I am here. I live in Costa Rica, right? And I was like, well, a thing that I could probably do. I have a good sized audience and whatever. I could probably barter some of that. There's probably an interior designer who I could, I could fly her to Costa Rica. She could do some of the work for less money and we barter some other stuff, right? But for the coaching with Rachel Rogers, I couldn't figure out how I'm going to get that without paying the money that I didn't make. And don't you know, I was writing this in my journal. I was writing it in my journal and they were emailing me to say that she wanted to talk to me and coach me live on her YouTube channel. I was writing it in my journal and I think they had actually already emailed me, but a certain person does not open her email very often. Her inbox, a certain person is really, really resistant to inboxes. Yeah, because they had to DM me. After they emailed me, they had to DM me on Instagram and be like, Knock, knock. Poke, poke. Go to your email, please. She coached me live. Not only did I get one-on-one, so what I wanted to pay for it wasn't really going to be one-on-one. It's just small group. It's more intimate coaching, small group coaching. Not only did I get that, I got one-on-one, right? One-on-one coaching with Rachel. Things really work out. If you don't have to be the person who forces it. If you don't have to be the one. If you can say, here's what I want, and like literally say it. I wrote it down, but if you can say, here's what I want, things can conspire for you. But you do have to know what you want. I believe that, which is why free time is so important. We have to know what we want, and it's hard to know what you want without free time and quiet, like real free time, where you're not doing or listening to or watching anything. It's just you and your brain. That's my thoughts on that. I spent a lot of time with nothing happening. I listen to audiobooks, and I just finished a cozy mystery about that happened at Christmas time, so perfect set, perfect timing. But there has to be some time when there's nothing, no input, right? Okay, so what's in here? What's in here? What do I want? What do I need? What am I missing? Yeah, I sat down on that sofa and I was like, here's how this happened. She was like, okay, good. Yeah, right? But that's not the only time. I just didn't take good notes. So if I had good notes, I would have a list for you of times when I've said out loud, here's what I need. And there it is, without me doing anything. Now, have to get yourself in position to receive the stuff, right? Being a person who opened my email makes me a person who's better able to receive things, right? But there is gonna, Teresa, I'm gonna get me a magic journal like Stephanie. But like seriously, small things. One time I was driving down the road. I've said this many times, but I love this story. One time I was driving down the highway, going to the airport. I had just dropped my dog off at my parents' house, and I was getting on a plane. And it was the first time I flew after the Malaysia flight disappearance. And I'm not the best flyer anyway. Always a little nervous. But I was having a panic attack in the car, like sweating and starting to just shake. And I've never had a panic attack before. I was like, it was getting bad. Like, I'm going to have to not get on this plane bad. And I said out loud, God, I need help. I finished the word help and I look, and my dad's license plate is right in front of me, right in my dad's car. I'm in Philadelphia. My parents live in Delaware. I'm right outside of the exit for Philadelphia Airport. I'm right pulling up to the airport. No, park and ride. I was going to the park and ride, going to I think the Holiday Inn. And my dad's car, he had a really distinct license plate. It was numbers in a row. And I was like, oh, okay, there's my help. I just laid on my horn. He didn't see me. I hadn't seen him. I just laid on that horn, and he pulled over. I pulled over. It was him, my mom, and their pastor's wife going to a hospital to visit somebody. And I was like, okay, when you need help, you just ask for help, I guess. Apparently, when you need help, you just ask for help. And there it was. So I hugged them and I talked to them and felt great. Felt great. And boom, got on the plane. I don't remember where that was. I don't remember when the Malaysia flight thing happened. I don't want to Google that. I don't want to Google that. Yeah. So, um, if I think surrendering control of things, it's really hard for Black women who have had to be in control. And I have advantages in that department because I've had a life where I was okay with surrendering control to things and things working out from the very beginning, okay? But learning that, being able to learn that lesson for yourself will open up the doors to so much in your life. From small things like in Thailand, I went to a conference, a travel bloggers conference, and I sat across from a couple from France. She was black and he was white. She was black or brown. She might have been South Asian. I don't know if she was black or South Asian. But I think she was black because they were especially friendly, and I didn't see them being friendly with anyone else, right? And they were like, "Oh, you know where we just went? Let me show you some pictures of where we just went. We just went to Ayutthaya in Thailand. I'd never heard of Ayutthaya, Thailand. It wasn't all that far from Bangkok, so I went. Right? If you always have to be in control and aren't able to surrender to some things, you're gonna miss out on so much. So I went to Ayutthaya, made friends with Claire, a girl from the Netherlands, and we traveled around for a few weeks together. Like, I think that's where I met Claire. Yes, I remember. She was bossing people around. Yeah, like things fall into place for you. And now I still see her on Instagram. She's still out living her life. We met up in Curacao when I was in Curacao a couple of years ago. 2 winters ago, we met up in Curacao. Yeah, she just happened to be there because Dutch people love Curacao. Being open to things only really happens when you know that you don't have to be the person to do it. Right? You don't have to do things for things to work for you. I think this ties into the home. I got to go to a place and I got to set up a home there. Do you? Can you just be free for a while and see what happens? Now, some of us have, like I said, I've had it easy. I've had it easy. And so some of us have experience. Some of you have experiences in your life that say, I can't just leave things up to chance. I hope maybe this is a time to heal that part of you, right? Maybe this is a time to do some healing work and heal that part of you that had to be in control of things. I had it easy. I just showed up in my life as a child and my parents took care of things. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of the privileges that I've had and continue to have in my life. Even now, the privilege of having things in their house, right? The privilege of being a person with no place to live, knowing that I can show up and ring their doorbell because they refused to give me a key. My dad changed the locks last year for my birthday. He said, "What do you want?" I said, "A key to the house, please." He said, "Just use the code. Just use the code." I said, "But I feel like I should also have a key because one day, what if electricity's out? Just use the code." But anyway, I have the privilege of being able to show up at their house and get in and stay there until I say I'm leaving, right? I'm aware of that, okay? But can you create that for yourself? Can you create those privileges don't have to come from the same way that I have them, right? You can still flex those privileges without them coming from your mom and dad, right? That's friendships and other family, chosen family, community. Wait, no input. Oh, okay. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm listening. And Idlewise says the biggest issue for me is free time to think and feel. Life changing. It'll change your life because you can't get what you want until you know what you want. And you don't know what you want until you have free time to think and feel. Yeah. Until you have that time, you don't know what you really want. You know what Black excellence says you want. You know what capitalism says you want. You know what Christianity or your religion, you know what the religion says you want. But do you know what you really want? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Derica says I sure needed to hear this today. Good morning, Derica. Thank you. You guys saw the conversation, the coaching. Rachel Rogers coached me up. So the thing that Rashida and I have been talking about is totally spoiled because in the best possible way, it's totally spoiled. The cat is out of the bag, honey, okay? Rashida and I have been teasing something new coming for Exodus Summit. That interview is it. It tells you exactly what's coming for Exodus Summit. But we are making a big announcement on Thanksgiving at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thanksgiving. We're making the formal announcement, formally opening doors to something brand new inside of Exodus Summit. Because listen, After I watched the replay, I was like, oh, Rachel would have really been upset with me if I had let her know this one thing. That one thing is Rashida and I have never coached people on their move abroad or their sabbatical together. Can you believe that? We've never coached people together on that thing. We have coached people together on making money. We coach people together through the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. But inside of Exodus Summit, it's always you get coaching from Rashida, you get coaching from me. It's never been us together. So something new is coming. For the first time, Rashida and I are working with women together on their thing, on their move abroad, on their nomadic life. It's coaching you on leaving the United States. We're working with some women together. It can't be one-on-one because there's more than one of us. It's me and Rashida and the Exodus Summit team. We're calling out the Avengers. Is that an appropriate analogy? The Avengers are assembling to get Black women out of the United States for the first time. For the first time, Avengers have assembled to get Black women out of the U.S. But the formal announcement's happening on Thanksgiving, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to get on the wait list and hear about it, I have 2 ways for you to hear about it. If you want to hear about this in your inbox, then go to exodussummit.com/peace out. And you will be on that wait list to hear about it in your inbox. If you want to hear about it on your phone, if you want a text alert, I think I have a number. Let me find it. You know, I have my own text alert, but this is a different text alert, okay? If you want to hear about it in your inbox, text peace out as one word. Text peace out to 888-434-0074. Text peace out to 888-434-0074, and you'll get a text alert. Okay? Those are 2 ways to get on the wait list. Text peace out as one word to 888-434-0074, or go to exodussummit.com/peace out. 2 ways to get on the wait list. But listen, you already know what it is. If you watch the coaching on Hello Seven's channel, you already know what it is, okay? But still come 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thanksgiving. Still come to the Exodus Summit YouTube channel for the formal announcement. Thank you. Yeah, I'm like, she already told us that, like, she basically was like, girl, how did y'all not think of this? Okay. But then I was like, if she realized that we never do coaching together anyway, she'd be like, what are you thinking? What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? What is the problem here? Y'all need more than coaching. Y'all need help. The number is, I'll put this in, I think this might already be in the description. If it's not, I'll put it in the description as well. It's 888-434-00, 888-434-0074. That's for you, Tawana. And Danielle. Let me put it back on the screen. No, that's that. This is the number. All right. Okay. So you asked I told you that was my whole list about embracing nomadic life, but you guys asked some good questions. So let's get to them. How can family come and visit if you're a nomad? It's pretty easy. Hey, y'all, I'm going to be in Vietnam, Hoi An, Vietnam. Y'all come visit me. People, people will come and visit you, right? Hey, y'all, I'm going to be in Mexico City for these weeks. Y'all come visit me. They'll come and visit you. Just like they would come to visit you if you lived in Costa Rica, they'll come visit you if you visiting Costa Rica, right? It's the same. It works the same. It works the same. Maybe for that period of time. And you can actually, here's the thing that some people do when they move abroad is they get an extra bedroom for friends and family, which is a waste of money for most people because your friends and family aren't coming enough for you to justify that extra expense. But if it's just Airbnbs, then most of the time you're in a 1 bedroom. If you want to, you can be in a, what do they call, studio. You can be in a tiny house Airbnb. But then once people are coming, then okay, you go to a 2 or 3 bedroom Airbnb. instead of having those 2 or 3 bedrooms all the time. I've had a lot of people travel with me over the last couple of years. And it's just been a matter of me saying, would you like to visit, come with me to X, right? Jewel and I hung out just recently in, wasn't that recent, Panama last year. Roshni and Katrina and I hung out in Joshua Tree last year. This year, Jewel and Katrina and I hung out in Costa Rica. It's just a matter of, hey, come visit me. It's the same. It works the same. What do you do with your car? Sell that car. Unless there's a reason for you to have somebody hold on to your car while you're gone. Anybody have a reason that they had somebody hold on to their car while they were gone? I guess if you think you're only going to be a nomad for a year, maybe you hold on to your car. But if you're like, let me just see what happens, and you don't have a real deadline, a real timeline, sell that bad boy. Get rid of it, right? You don't want that car to be your master. I done wiped a lot of eyebrow off. Now my eyebrows are now so far apart. Sweating. At least I haven't had real heat flashes lately, hot flashes. This is, I think, lately, I think this is just, it's warm in here. It's warm in this house. So I can't think of a reason to hold on to a car unless you know you have a deadline when you are coming back. But if you're like, let's see, be out in the world. Let's see. Hi, Janice. Janice says, what is a nomadic wardrobe? What do you take on the house sits? I have like an 8 outfit thing. I end up with more stuff than that, but 8 is my basics. 8 covers the basics. 8 bottoms or, yeah, 8 bottoms, which includes skirts, pants, dresses, shorts. 8, right? I like 2 that are just for lounging around and doing nothing. I got a pair of them on now, a little pair of shorts. I like 2 things that are for going out and doing things. Going to the grocery store. My loungewear is not grocery store appropriate, right? I'm going to the grocery store. Maybe I'm going out to dinner with some people. I like 2 things that are going to look beautiful in pictures. And give me 2 bottoms that are for working out. I have high hopes of myself when I pack, right? Sometimes I added extra here, extra there. This time I went to a conference, so I added on 2 of my conference outfits were just part of my I'm going to the grocery store look because it was a casual conference. But I also brought one not dressy, but dressier look, which I ended up not wearing. So now I got it with me for all this time because I'm not getting back to Delaware probably till the spring. So I got that with me. And then I was given a beautiful caftan, which is added into my loungewear section. Well, it's a caftan that is go out and look cute at dinner and also wear around the house and look like a lady of leisure caftan. But I have an 8 bottom rule. Now that doesn't include pajamas and swimsuits. So I have three swimsuits, 2 pairs of pajamas. But that's how I do it, right? And then I add to it. As long as I have that amount, I'm covered. If I have 2 different outfits to wear out to dinner and I rotate them, I'm covered. I'm a homebody, so I don't need 4 outfits for going out of the house. I need 2 outfits for going out of the house. It's okay for me to recycle the same bottoms. I'll switch up the tops. I have more tops than bottoms, of course. But that's how I set my suitcase up. Do I have 2 things for laying around that are going to be comfortable and either warm or cool based on where I'm going? Do I have 2 things for going out and looking decent in public? Do I have 2 things for looking really pretty? And then do I have 2 things for working out? That's how I set it up. And then then all the other stuff. I keep my shoes very minimal, so when I go places, I often tell people, if you're taking pictures with me, please don't take a picture of my shoes. Cut the feet off the picture, right? I told them in Dallas, and they still published that picture with me having sneakers on with that beautiful dress, right? I'm wearing I have 1 pair of sneakers that are for going out in the world, and I have a pair of running shoes. And then I have two sandals slash flip flop, two sandals, and then I have slippers, which sometimes are flip flops and sometimes are real slippers. I have real slippers. I have slippers that I bought from Target, Christmas Christmas Target slippers. Packing for me has gotten easier over time. So just understand that you're going to pack a lot of stuff. You're probably going to take too much stuff with you, and just give yourself that grace, okay? No matter how much you try to pare things down, you're always going to feel like, but this is not enough. I got to take more, more, more. Okay, just take more. Take as much as you can handle, right? Know that you're going to be paying to check a bag. I travel business class now. I fly business class now, so I've not had to deal with checking a bag. I've not been dealing with like baggage fees because it's baked in. But know that you're going to check a bag and just be at peace with that. If you determine that you're going to do carry on only, you're going to need to be more strict with your list. And if you're not carry on only, you're going to be able to give yourself a little more grace. But almost everybody packs stuff that they do not need. Right? Even I packed a pair of cream pants for the conference. I packed a pair of cream pants and a sweaterish top to wear when I was presenting. But you know what I ended up wearing for my talk at the conference? A jean shirt and some jogging pants because they were that casual. And it was the temperature, I didn't want to get sweaty. The shirt would be a better choice. It was cool in the room, but the shirt would have been a better choice than the sweater I was going to wear. So that's what I do. That's what I do. Voice of Truth says, I just let go of my car last week and had no idea the burden that would be lifted after it was gone. Stephanie's 100% correct. Let go of the car. No insurance, no maintenance, no storage fees. I know that used cars have gone up significantly in price. So I understand the fear of if I sell this car and then I come back and I need a car, it's going to cost me more. I understand that fear. But there's a good chance you're not coming back. Not coming back to a life where you're going to need a car. When you get out of the United States, the US and Canada just really screwed things up with our system of setting things up. Other places, you just don't need a car like that. There are some places that did it wrong. Curacao, also surprisingly car dependent. There's some places where it's just wrong. They did it wrong. But in most of the places you're going, you don't need a car. And when you come back, you're not going to want a car. If you come back, you're not going to want to come back to a life where you have to have a car to go places. You're going to want to come back to a life where you can walk to do the things you need to do on a weekly basis. Or the whole car system, we let the United States, and therefore the world, let a handful of industries ruin us. The oil and automobile industries really mess things up. I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, once you go someplace and you don't need a car, you very well may never want to have a car again, right? Even in Costa Rica, where you kind of need a car, I still don't want a car. I'm still not doing it. I'm not doing it, right? I'll walk in Uber, walk to the grocery store, Uber back home. I'm good. I'm fine with that. The responsibility of a car is not conducive to liberation. It's not conducive. Katrina says, packing does get easier. I left out this last time with less stuff and intentions to be gone longer, right? Gone longer, less stuff. Yeah, all it takes is a couple of times, a couple of weeks or months where you have your suitcase and you're like, well, I've been wearing the same 3 outfits, packed all this stuff. I've been wearing the same 3 things. And then the next time you'll do a better job. I still don't do a perfect job of packing. I still have stuff. So I've been in Joshua Tree and Zion National Park and here for almost a week. I spent 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights. Yeah, 5 nights. There's a suitcase that's been in the trunk of my car all 5 nights, right? I have my carry-on and my duffel bag with me, but my checked bag, I have not pulled it out of my suitcase in 5 nights. That stuff in there, how much of it did I really need? Right? Almost a week without even looking at that suitcase. How much of that stuff did I really need? Right? So it's not, nobody does a perfect job of that. Nobody's perfect. But it does get easier. How do you avoid cosmetics and toiletries that bleach your skin while traveling? In a lot of the world, that stuff contains bleaches. So I don't think I think in the like the Philippines and stuff, I bought that deodorant and I don't think it had bleach in it. I didn't look at the label. I don't listen. The way my eyes set up, I cannot read small writing. So, when I was in the Philippines, I remember being like, "Who needs bleach deodorant?" Right? But I don't. Based on using that deodorant, I don't think it had bleach in it. So I think that it is possible to find stuff on the shelf without bleach in it. But I do know that a lot of stuff did have bleach in it. Uh, so some stuff you can bring if you're super afraid of what is something that I know would have bleach in it. Like some of the face wash, you can find Olay or you can find face wash and stuff that you recognize that's not going to have bleach in it. So I don't have a good answer for you, CK, except that I did. How did I find things that didn't have bleach in them? I found them, right? Using brands that I recognized. It wasn't that hard. I mean, you see the shelf. Everything's gonna have bleach, but there's gonna be something there with no bleach that you recognize. Jacques or Jackie? Hi, Jacques' journey or Jackie's journey? I can't wait to be careless. Yes. Jewel calls it irresponsible. Be free. Be free. Be free. See what happens. Okay. Black and blessed. I couldn't get my second job, so now I decided to invest and generate income for the future. Yeah. If you have investment income, right? If you have a thing that you've invested in that is making income for you, that is money. That's your money. You can reinvest the money. Yes, you can reinvest the money. It's going to make more money, right? What is it called? Compounded interest is amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing, right? But also, like that investment income, that is your money. If you're gonna spend some of it, spend some of it. That's that's your money. Live your life. Live your life. Mari says, after crashing my car in 2020, I've learned how not having a car is so much more affordable. It's so freeing. All right, I hope the accident was okay. I hope you're okay, though. I hope it wasn't a bad thing. I hope it was okay. I'm sorry, it just the way you said it after I crashed my car. I hope it was okay. I hope you're okay, is what I mean. Kat says most people want a car if they move to Costa Rica. Yeah, that's why I'm not going to the beaches. That's why I'm staying in San Jose, right? Even though San Jose is ugly, right? Compared to the beaches and the volcano areas and the mountains and the whatever and the jungle, I'm in San Jose where I can walk to the store and not have a car. I've done that very intentionally. Yeah, I say it all the time. San Jose, you need a car. You need a car there. I'm not going to those parts of San Jose. I'm not living there. I don't want a car. A car will become the boss of you in no time. I don't want that to be my master. I don't want that car to be my master. So that's why I'm in San Jose. When people are like, oh, you live in Costa Rica, what part? And I'll be like, San Jose. They're like, what is wrong with you? Who would go to Costa Rica to live in San Jose when they have the beaches and they have the volcanoes and they have, like, listen, I need conveniences that I can't get at those beaches or in Arenal or in the jungle. I need my conveniences. Yeah, Uber back. I'm known for that. I am notorious for walking to the grocery store and Ubering back. There's a Vons here, like just a little under a mile away. And I was like, oh, wonder if that I could walk back from that Vons. I'm like, who am I fooling? I know good and well I'm gonna be Ubering back from that Vons. I know good and well I'm not walking back from that grocery store. It depends on what I get and how heavy. I think I don't need to buy water. I don't need to buy water here, so that's a thing. Yeah. We don't realize how much consumerism has consumed us. That's right. Cars, houses, handbags, hair, nails. That's right. That's why let it all go. Let it all fall off. And then see which things you want to bring back. See which things you want to reject forever. See which things you want to readjust your relationship with. Let it all go. Give yourself some freedom. Be liberated. Be free for a while, a good while, and see how you want to readjust things. We don't know how these things are impacting us. We just don't because we're so used to them. We're nose blind. So this is a house where she loves her plugins. She loves her plugins. I feel like there was a plug-in in every outlet. First, one of the first things I did after they left was unplug all them plugins because she can't smell the plugins like I can smell the plugins. All I every time I breathe, I'm just like, right? And you don't hardly want to breathe, so much plugins. You get blind to that stuff. She's probably really afraid that it smells like dogs in here. It doesn't smell like dogs. It smells like plugins. Even after I unplugged them yesterday, and it's been almost 24 hours, no dog smell, right? The plugins were doing nothing but poisoning the air. I feel like plugins are the next talcum. What is the talcum powder? The powder that everybody had the lawsuits against the powder, right? Plugins are the next lawsuit waiting to happen, allegedly. Plugins are the next to go. They're the next to fall. We don't use baby powder anymore on our bodies as adults. We're about to get rid of these plugins because they can't be good for you. It can't be good for you. So I went around and unplugged all those plugins. I'm like, she has no idea how perfumed her house is because she doesn't smell it. She's always here, right? And your brain, after a while, your brain stops recognizing those things. I don't need to recognize this. I don't need to register this smell. We smell it all the time. It's why I like Burberry Her perfume, but I think I can't wear it all the time because my nose immediately is like, oh, we don't smell anymore. And I want to smell my perfume. I want to smell it. So I have to, if I wear Burberry Her, I have to wear it like once and then I don't wear it again for weeks. And then I wear it again, right? Because my brain is really fast to be like, you don't need to keep registering that. That is life growing up in a system of consumerism and capitalism and Black excellence, right? And Christian doctrine or whatever your faith is, right? You don't recognize the ways that it's impacting you until you can get to step away from it. I'm such a fan of step away from all of it and then decide what you want to put back in. Step away. You don't realize what Black excellence has done to you until you get to walk in a space where nobody expects Black excellence from you, where you just get to be a human and not a representative for an entire race and gender. Give me that. Give me freedom. Give me liberation. You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. Yeah, so bleach, I don't remember ever actually using a product that had bleach in it. And I was in Southeast Asia for a year. So I bought everything. It's not like I brought a year worth of deodorant with me or a year worth of lotion. I bought all my stuff there, but I don't remember ever having anything that actually had bleach in it on me. So I think it's possible to get stuff without bleach. It's just that you see it everywhere. And it's surprising me. That's the first time I saw deodorant with bleach in it. I was like, who out here bleaching their armpits? Hi, Stephanie Gaines. Did I find a natural hairstylist in the places I've stayed at? No, I haven't had my hair done by a hairdresser probably 7 years. 8? No. I got my hair braided in 2018. Last time someone else, no, okay, 2018 once, and then a young woman twisted my hair around COVID time, around 2020. No, I don't. People don't do my hair. So your trauma might be something. My trauma is hairdressers starting to do my hair and then complaining the whole time. Ugh, 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 ugh. I'm not gonna finish. My hairdresser, Betty Camper, who I love dearly, my hairdresser in Dover, every time, like I went to Betty every 6 weeks. I went to Betty for years, 6 weeks for years. And every time she'd be like, can I just, what if I don't curl it? Betty, she complained about my hair every time. I think Pam in Texas, when I was at Fort Hood, she was the only hairdresser I have. I don't remember Pam ever complaining. She'd be like, here's some things you need to do differently, right? She found out that I was plucking grays out of my head. She was like, no, Stephanie, we don't pluck our gray. We color it or we leave it, but we don't pluck it out. She was like, Stephanie, stop wearing your hair in that little ball. I was in the army, and I had to wear my hair up, and I would wear it in that little ball thing. She's like, Stephanie, you got to find a different style. You can't wear it up in that ball. She's the only hairdresser I remember having over my 35, maybe 30. Let's go with 28 years of relaxing. No, let's go with 35 years of hairdressers, because even my grandma and my mom used to do my hair. Over 30 some years of hairdressers. I think Pam is the only one who I never heard the complaints from. And maybe my grandma. Maybe my mom never did complain. But everybody else, you would think I have the most undoable hair ever, right? So my trauma is hairdressers. I don't look for hairdressers. I don't look for braiders. I don't look for stylists. I do my hair or it's not done. That's my trauma. I've never looked at a place and seen a hairdresser and been like, oh, let me go in there. No, indeed. No. I do my hair or it's not done. So that's not a thing I can help you with. Okay? That's not a thing I can help you with. This is Minnie. She says the jury is still out on plug-ins. Info coming out that they're carcinogens because the scent is chemical, not oil, not natural oils. Ah. So she had these two oils burning in here. Girl, the place was scented. She had two oils burning in here and then a plug in on every wall. And the house is really open concept. I'm like, ooh, girl, this can't be good for you. Or the dogs. The dogs are very small dogs. This can't be good for y'all. I unplug them things ASAP. I have to sometimes make a list of things to put back before I leave a house. Because one thing I'm going to do is remove your plug-ins and move the stuff on the walls. Move the stuff around. I'll be like, oh, this art is dumb. Let me move this. There's nothing here that I want to get rid of that I'm like, I don't want to look at that for 6 weeks. Let me put that behind the sofa. I'll put it back up before they leave. I have to make a list of things to return into order before I leave a house sit or an Airbnb. So for her, it was just the plug-in so far. I just need to go back and plug every single one in. What's happening, Pamela? I see your comment. It's not blocked. All right, so I would say, Jazz, I would ask a mom with children. I run into moms in San Jose, Costa Rica. I run into moms all the time and their kids, and they seem happy. But, I would ask them. You get in community with people in the places you're looking to go. Even if you can't do a visit to meet those people, you can still make good connections with them online. People who move abroad tend to be happier and more helpful people than you're used to dealing with in your life because they have left and they're now living a more dream-like life. And they tend to be a lot happier. So I would get in community for people who have moved to the place you're interested in moving to, for moms in particular, and ask them questions. I would say yes. They seem happy every time I see them at the market. I run into a new mom at the market every time I go. Last time it was, she has an Instagram and a YouTube channel. How hard is it going to be to find her? If you're here, tell me your name. Last time, let me see. I'm following 2,700 people. So it may not be that easy to find her on Instagram. Her kids looked to be elementary school and preschool. There's two kids, one elementary school and one preschool aged. I've run into moms with high school kids. I'm never going to be able to, because I can't remember her name. And so just scrolling through the people I'm following is not helpful. But if you're here, say hi. Get in community with them. So what I would do is join the Exodus Summit Facebook community first. And in Exodus Summit, there are some women in Costa Rica. I don't, and some of them may be moms, and I just don't know. Some things you don't pay attention to. And I would also get in community with expat in Costa Rica groups and talk to them. Ask them your questions. Community is necessary. What do I do with the art? I just put it behind the sofa until it's time for me to go, and then I hang it back up. I don't replace it. In Airbnbs, I'll sometimes go and buy stuff to put on the walls. But in houses, I don't do that. In Airbnbs, sometimes I'll go to, Walmart. They always have the little line art or something. Go put something up on the walls. Some Airbnbs, they just don't do that. Or they put the dumbest things up. This is me, okay? And so sometimes in Airbnbs, sometimes I'll do it. In houses, I don't do that. If I do take it down, I'll put it behind the wall. Put it behind the sofa or something. Put it somewhere. I just don't want to look at it. You know how some stuff, you're like, who wants to look at that? Am I the only one? Who wants to look at that? I'm here for the aesthetics. I'm in this house sit for the look of the house sit, and you ruining it with this stupid thing. Let me take it down. Let me take this thing down. Yeah, so community is a thing that you have to be active about, right? The easiest way to start getting in community in a place that you're going is Facebook groups. It's the easiest way. They often also have WhatsApp communities. There's a woman in Haiti who has a huge WhatsApp community in Costa Rica. You get in community with people online. I would touch down in the place and meet the people. But that's how you do it. All right. Thank you, friends, for the super chats. Hi, Care007. Thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate you. I hope you're still here. And Mr. Style Jam, thank you very much for that super chat. I'm in New York with all the red light and speed cameras they've installed, in addition to speed limits of only 20, not to mention overabundance of cars on the road. It's a nightmare in New York City. I can't imagine. I can understand why people in New York City would be like, oh, I have a car. But I know I've seen it, but I can't understand it. What in the world? Parking is $1 million a month? Come on. Yeah, car free, car free. We let the car, we is not me, but we let the car and oil people ruin our country. It could be so much easier. When you go to the Netherlands, you get on a train, you get off the train, you get on a little tram, and then you're in your neighborhood. You're in your neighborhood. Right? And they even ride bikes everywhere, and they still have good public transportation. They have bike parking garages. You go to Lisbon, you get on the train. You take an Uber, it's $2. We've really ruined what this place could be. They started this country from scratch, right? So Europe had to navigate their cities had to navigate with the way things were already built, right? Them cities already existed, right? And they had the old buildings and the cobblestone streets and the tight fit, right? And so they couldn't adopt the car life the way the United States did. And they're so much the better for it. They did. Germany, I read, is one of the biggest gas consumers, right? They did adopt car life, but it's not the same. You can live your life in Europe without a car. Here, there are not a whole lot of cities. When I made the list, when I left on my sabbatical, I knew I was coming back to something very different. I didn't know what. I made a list of cities that what they call walkable cities. Pittsburgh was on the list. which Yvonne McBride is always trying to tell us is a good place. You'll like it. Pittsburgh, Mobile, Alabama, which I don't think I would do. I didn't dislike Birmingham, but I don't think Mobile is that same vibe. Seems whiter, right? Anyway, I made a list of places that had either walkable or good public transportation. San Francisco, expensive, but they give veterans a significant discount on the metro, right? So I made that list, but the list was really small. Really small. Not a whole lot of places in the US where you can live well without a car. In Wilmington, Delaware, when I lived in Wilmington, Delaware, I lived in a food desert. You had to get in a car to go to a grocery store. There was no grocery store. I lived in the heart in Wilmington. I lived in Wilmington. I lived on 35th Street. Right? There was no place to get groceries, to get produce on foot. You had to have a car to get groceries. I don't think that's how we're supposed to live. I don't think so. Anyway, thank you for that. Hi, Carla. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. You are amazing. Thank you very much, Carla. I hope you're still here. Hi, Carol. Thank you for the super chat. I hope you're still here. Thank you for that, friends. You know, super chat money goes to the Vicarian Sabbatical Fund. We have our last payment going to Alicia Renice for her sabbatical. Last money getting together. We're assembling the last money for that. Yeah. Amina, hi Amina. America has to have a bottom, and it's determined by what people have and who can be denied resources. A lot of what Jewel and I talked about this the other day when we were together in Atlanta. A lot of the United States, so I'm talking about the setup of the car industry and the gas industry. A lot of that is because all they wanted to do was make sure Black people didn't have access to the good stuff, right? How do we push Black people out of this place? Or how do we move ourselves away from this place, segregate ourselves from Black people, right? So much of the United States really sucks for those reasons. For that reason, just because they wanted to make sure white people did not have to live with Black people and make sure Black people did not have access to the good stuff. Oh, Temecula is your happy place. I tried to look for wine tours, but they're like $200. I don't think, and we can't have a $200 meetup. So I don't know if we're going to have a meetup because I don't have any other ideas. So I don't know if we're going to have a meetup while I'm here because the winery tour was $200, which no, thank you. All right. I feel like I was on something. Did we cover this? Did we cover this? 7 a.m. Okay, I've got one more 7 a.m. live stream, I think, before I'll be back to being a human person during these live streams. One more 7 a.m. because I go live Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you don't know that, let me give you a link to get a text alert for that. I gave you the text alert already for the Exodus Summit wait list. Let me give you a text alert to get a reminder from me about I'm going live. I do a reminder 10 minutes before I go live, so you don't have to remember that it's 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That number, you can text the word YouTube to 888-403-4465. Text the word YouTube to 888-403-4465. That's in the chat. You'll see it. You can scroll back and find it. That is for that text alert. And then remember that the Exodus Summit text alert was peace out. If you want an alert from Exodus Summit when we formally announce our new thing that's coming, that's never happened before, text the word peace out. Text it as one word. Peace out to 888-403-0074. They're in the chat. You can just scroll up in the chat. If you missed this and you're somewhere else watching, scroll up in the chat. They're there. Yeah. Travel Spanish with Claire. Systemic racism affects every aspect of your life. Every aspect. This is why Black women who leave the United States feel so much better. Because the systems are different. Now, there's systemic racism in a lot of places, right? But that their systems weren't set up to oppress you in particular. You will feel different. You will feel better. That's why we leave. Like, that's the whole point. The whole point Everything is set up in this country to oppress you. And I mean that without exaggeration. All of these systems, all of these policies are set up to oppress you to death, to oppress you to death, right? To oppress you to death. And it's why we feel so much better when we leave. So that's why, even though this video is about not necessarily moving to a place, it's still about leaving the United States. We still leave the United States. You cannot thrive. Black women cannot thrive in this country. Black women cannot thrive in the United States. We leave here, okay? All I want you to do is think about moving a different way. Some of you will really, really like not being tied down to a place, bopping around and being free. But we're still leaving. We're leaving. We're leaving. Okay? All ashore that's going ashore. It's the Love Boat. Jazzy. Is the Vietnam meetup in Hoi An? What are the dates? Yeah. Inside of the Exodus Summit Facebook group, there's a whole meetup. When you go to the Exodus Summit Facebook group, look at the events tab. There's an events tab. You'll see the meetup in Hoi An, Vietnam, February 20 to 28. There is my hotel. I put my actual hotel in there so you'll know where I'm staying. Because Hoi An is a town where you could be in the center, in the old town, they call it, or you can be at the beaches, or you could be in the rice field section. I'm staying in the rice field section of Hoi An, the rice field area, right? So I linked my actual hotel there so in case you want to stay near, but you don't have to because it's bikeable. You're going to get a bike, whether you rent a bike separately or your hotel or your Airbnb host gives you a bike to use. Any place in Hoi An, you can bike to any place else in Hoi An. That's why I'm so excited to go back there. Because that's how I lived my life when I was there. I must have been there for a month. Yeah, because I rented the little room, $180 for a month, and she gave me a bike. I would ride my bike to the little noodle shop, eat my pho, then ride my bike to another place to have coffee. I guess, I don't remember why. I just liked the coffee at one place and the pho at another place. One lady put tomatoes in her pho, so sometimes I would go to her and sometimes I would go to the man. They were like diagonal from each other, right? Mix it up. Sometimes I want tomatoes and sometimes I don't, right? Little cherry tomatoes. And when the lady had a little dog that hung around, right? So sometimes I go to her shop, sometimes I go to his. And then I would leave and go someplace else and get coffee. And then a lot of days I would just go to the fabric lady and be like, can you make something for me with this fabric, right? Get something made or get it fitted or go pick it up on my bike. And I would go from the old town to the beaches to the grass to the rice fields area. It was a really nice time. I can't wait to go back. So Cathay Pacific sent an email talking about a sale, but they didn't include business class in the sale. So I guess it's time to buy my ticket, but it's just going to be regular price. They sent a Black Friday email out yesterday. So if you're considering flying and passing through Hong Kong, consider Cathay Pacific. They put out a sale thing, but my ticket is no cheaper. Okay. What is the link? Go to Exodus Summit. You need to be in the Exodus Summit community. So go to exodussummit.com/community, exodussummit.com/community, and then look under, once you join, it's for Black women only, right? Once you join, look at the events tab. There's a tab. It'll be like something and media and something and events. Go to events, and that's where you'll see the Vietnam meetup. You'll see some other meetups, a lot of meetups happening over the next few weeks. A lot of meetups happening, including Vietnam. Yeah, this is my first time going back. A lot has changed already, I can tell. So I hope I still like it. Hoi An was such a nice small town. It looks a little more developed, a lot more developed. But I hope I still like it. But I know, regardless, I'm still going to eat well. The food is still going to be good. Red Dragon restaurant, there's a restaurant called Red Dragon. I'm going back. The house I stayed in was like a 1-minute walk to Red Dragon. So they knew me there. I'm going back. Yeah, I can't wait. I do feel like it's going to be different. Things change. Everything changes, right? South Africa was very different when I went back to Cape Town. Things change, but I hope I still like it. Right? Do you pull on your mental armor when you spend extended time in the US? If so, how long does it take to actually relax? I don't know that I really relax until I leave, although I was really relaxed in the national park the other day. Anytime I come into contact with American white people, I have to be on guard because you never know what they're gonna do and what they're gonna say. They're like deer, right? And to me, engage. I just left Zion National Park. The first day I got to Zion National Park, it was night. First day I got there, it was night. I got there as the sun was going down. By the time I check in, get my stuff in my room, turn the heat on, and get in the car to go to the grocery store, it's dark outside. As I'm driving to a grocery store, there's a deer standing in the middle of the road, right? Deer standing there. And so now I got to prepare for, is he going to run to the left? Is he going to run to the right? Is he going to run into my car? Is he going to jump? Is he going to stand still? Right? That's a stressor. That's a stressor that I need to brace for. Okay? So, and then I need to take specific action to not have this rental car totaled by this deer, which I thought was an elk, but the man told me they were deer. They were good size. They were good size. But they looked more like reindeer than deer, like Delaware deer. The next day, I go to the national park. No, 2 days later, I go into the national park in the daytime, and I come home and it's dark again. I take the shuttle bus. There's a free shuttle bus from the national park to the place with the hotels, but I get off a stop too early. Got off at stop number 3 instead of stop number 4. So I'm walking, and I hear deer coming down the mountain. It's 3 deer. I'm walking, and there's 3 deer coming down the mountain. And I say, stop, no. And instead of startling them, which was probably a dumb thing to do, instead of it startling them, it did catch their attention. And it gave me time to walk past them. Because at that rate, they were coming right towards me. I go, stop, no. And I kept my hands up, and I just kept walking. And it bought me a little bit of time to get away so that they could keep coming. The 3 deer could come down the mountain and cross the street. That's what they did. They came down the mountain, crossed the street. To me, being in the United States and around American white people is a lot like being around deer. Some of the time, you might enjoy the interaction. Some of the time, at least nothing happens. But some of the time, shit goes bad. And you have to be prepared. You have to brace at every interaction with American white people. You have to brace for every interaction because you don't know when things are going bad. That's stressful. I don't like that feeling, and I don't want to live like that. So I don't live like that anymore. Being here now, so because I'm in a house where they have these dogs and they often bring in house sitters, their neighbors are more prepared to see a stranger walking these 3 dogs, right? But as a house sitter, I'm in a position where I need to be braced for something to go bad. And I don't like that. I don't like it. And that's why we leave. You really don't know how much of your life is responding to or preparing for the bad until you get picked up. You can pick yourself up out of your life and you put yourself in another position. And then you get to look back and see how much of your life, how much of your day, and how much of your whole life is spent preparing for the bad, coping with the bad, dealing with the bad, instead of embracing the good, the great. Right? But we're used to it. You're so used to it. You don't see it. You're nose blind. There's a plug-in right there. There's a plug-in right. I pulled it out of the thing. You see it on the counter right next to the coffee maker. There's a plug-in right there. I'm telling you, every wall had a plug-in. You're nose blind to it. Now, I don't know what happens if I replug these in before she comes back. Now that she's going to be gone for weeks, when she comes back, is she going to then be like, "Oh, there's too many plugins here"? I don't know. I don't know, but we're nose blind to it until we aren't. Until you pick yourself up and put yourself somewhere else. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. Sometimes you might enjoy the interaction, right? And sometimes it might be totally neutral. You don't enjoy it, but you don't hate it. Nothing happened, right? Yesterday I went to the grocery store and nothing happened, right? Yesterday I went to the grocery store, saw people, white people, and nothing happened. But there is a time. There is a time when it's bad. And when it's bad, it's devastating. One time I lived in the country and a girl, my roommate, I had a male roommate, and he had a girl come over and she left. And then she was right back again. It was nighttime. She left and then there she was again. And I'm like, hey, what happened? She said, oh, a deer just totaled my car. You don't know when it's going to happen. Deer are huge. The Delaware deer are not that huge. The deer in Zion National Park were big. I was like, those are elk? He said, no, they're just deer. I was like, is that an elk? Even a baby moose? He's like, no, they're just deer. It was just, the first one was just walking down the street. He walked down he was in the middle of the street when I drove past. And then as soon as I passed him, he walked into the gas station and walked right up to the gas station pump. And I was like, what is he doing? But I guess he was looking for food on the floor, on the ground. And then the next time, here they come, just walking down the mountain at me. I saw some inside of the national park. There was deer everywhere. There was deer everywhere at Zion. I saw some at the national park. I took a video, but I forgot to post it. I said, Connie Perry would be so upset with me if I didn't take a video of this deer. So I took a video of some deer, but I forgot to post it. And then walking back, here they're coming down the mountain. There was deer everywhere, right? And I escaped unscathed. But not everybody does. Not everybody does. It's a stressful life. We don't realize the stressors that we're living in until we remove ourselves. This is why I've talked so much about us removing ourselves. Get out of there. That's not good for you. Just like that, smelling them plugins all day, every day, cannot be good for you. Living in a toxic place, it can't be good for you, right? We got this muddle, this bundle. It's a toxic mess, a toxic stew. The capitalism, the racism, the misogynoir, all of that, the ableism, all of it, it's just all bundled together and it's killing us. It's killing us. And so that's why we spend so much time picking ourselves up, taking ourselves out of that. Live in the world and be free. It's different in other places, right? I know it's a response that people often have is, but there's that everywhere. Not on the same level. It's not on the same level. It's not on the same level. This is a place that has attracted the worst of the worst white people. It's attracted the worst of the worst. It's not like this everywhere. I promise you. I haven't been everywhere, but I've been most places, most areas. I've been to the regions. I've even been to the Middle East, very briefly, Dubai, right? I've been to any region that you mentioned. I've been to Central America. I've been to South America. I've been to Iceland, which is its own region, right? I've been to Europe. I've been to Asia and Australia. I've been to Southeast Asia. I've not been to Central Asia, I guess. I've been to Southern Africa. I've been to Northern Africa. I've not been to East Africa. I've been to a lot of parts of the world. It's not the same. This is a really, really toxic stew. It's not healthy. It's not a place to live. It's not a place to stay. If you have a choice, exercise your choice and go. So Exodus Summit is creating a brand new thing. Some of you know because you watched the interview on the Hello 7 podcast or the coaching session. A brand new thing. For the first time ever, Rashida and I are coming together with the rest of Team Exodus to coach women on their moves abroad. We've hosted the summit, which is a conference, but we've not done coaching with women together on moving abroad. You had to, in the past, go to Rashida separately, come to me separately. I stopped moving abroad coaching quite a while ago when I switched to YouTube coaching. So there's nobody in the world who has gotten move abroad coaching from the two of us, which is funny considering we have created Exodus Summit, the move abroad for Black women space. But that's about to change. There's about to be a cohort of Black women who are about to get some coaching from us. Hopefully, it will be, let's see, how much can I say? It's going to be power packed but not long and not short. Medium length, right? Medium length for coaching over an extended period of time, but not extended, not distended. Okay? An extended period of time, but not a distended period. We're not stretching this out. Okay? Extended period of time, but not a distended period of time. So that you can get out, so that you can win at moving abroad, right? So that you can win at leaving the United States. We're doing something really awesome, and it's going to be amazing. And yeah, I'm excited for it. So go to, I'm supposed to be giving you a link. Go to exodussummit.com/peace out to get on the wait list if you want to make sure that you hear about it. If you want a text alert, text peace out as one word to 888-434-0074. Peace out link is where? Maybe here. I got everything on a different place, in a different place. Copy, paste. All right. All right. We're getting some women out of the U.S. hasta pronto. Okay, quick. Quick. Some of the women who are going to join us, I think, you know how I feel like I can see the future based on the past. It's just based on previous experience, based on what I know from women who come to Exodus Summit. Some of the women who join are going to feel pretty confident that they can move abroad. They just need some support. But some of the women who join are going to join still not even being exactly sure that this is going to work for them. But they're going to put their money in the pot and say, I'm willing to try it. And everybody's moving out. Okay? Everybody's getting out. Everybody's going to leave. We're leaving the United States. Some of the women are going to plan on a long-term exit or forever exit, and some are going to plan on just kind of long-term, but I don't know. It may be forever, but I may come back. Maybe for years or months or years, but not forever, ever. I'm not sure. I don't think for our coaching to help you, I don't think you need to know that it's going to be forever, ever. Okay? Because we can start with for now, and then how do we make that sustainable? Right? We can start with for now. Some of the women who are going to come to this are going to feel like they're in dire straits already. And so we don't want to put that off until you can come up with a forever plan. I'm okay with you leaving now. And then we work on how to make that sustainable. How do we make a forever plan for you? Right? Leave now. How long can you be gone now? And then how do we make that work? How do we make a more sustainable plan? Okay? Paula Dejoie. Hi, Paula. Paula's super chat. She says, I love Alicia Renice. Peace and blessings to you too, Paula. Thank you. Yes, we're putting money together to send Alicia Renice on sabbatical at vicarious.com/sabbatical fund. No, hold on. Let me type that and then I'll say fix what I said. I didn't say the right thing. Vicarious.com/sabbatical fund. Okay, this is where you go. There are 3 ways to send money for Alicia Renice's sabbatical. I said to send her on sabbatical. She's on sabbatical. We're just supporting her during her sabbatical, right? We're just giving her money, okay? We're just giving her money. And the last bit of money, we got to get into her very soon, just a couple of weeks. We got to get that last bit in there. It's already November 23rd. Yeah, I think it was supposed to already be done. So we got to get the last bit in there, that last check. Okay? We're coming in the home stretch. And then we'll work on our next woman for 2025. Yeah. So I think this is what I was saying. Hi, Daz. It's a scary concept until you see all the steps written down. There is a peace out protocol. Even though Rashida and I have not coached this together, we have coached this separately, and we have hosted Exodus Summit for 5 years, and we have put together a peace out protocol. There is a protocol. It's 8 steps. I used to say 7, Rashida was like 8. We added a new one, right? There are 8 steps to you being able to leave this country. 8 steps. And that's what we're going to coach you on, right? That's what we're going to coach you on, and what we're announcing next week that we haven't announced yet, right? There is a protocol that the women who've already moved out and credit us with their moves, right? There's a protocol that they've already followed. There are steps that they've already taken, right? We're putting this together to be able to teach it and coach you on it right now, like real soon. It's starting real soon. We're announcing it on Thanksgiving, which is next Thursday. I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. Thanksgiving is Thursday. I need to figure out. So I had Thanksgiving dinner while I was home with my parents. I went to the grocery store and I bought everyday food for, I think, for basically the whole stay, because I got to drop my rental car back off today. But I still need to figure out Thanksgiving. When I was in Mexico, I used to make a turkey breast and then just make, like capriati's, turkey breast. They have a sandwich called a bobby, turkey breast and stuffing and cranberry sauce on a roll with mayonnaise. But I don't know if I'm going to do that here, because I did have Thanksgiving, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do for Thanksgiving. But I might do that. I might go buy a little turkey breast and some sandwich supplies, some stuffing. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Thanksgiving. Okay, but on Thanksgiving evening, we're going to get together. We're going to announce and formally open the doors for our brand new thing that is going to get a cohort of Black women out the door. Rapido, rapido. Okay, we're doing it because some of you don't yet realize what toxic stew you're in, what a mess, what a damaging, harmful place you're in. So we're going to get you out of there. 8 steps. 8 steps. Where am I going? What does it cost? Where's the money coming from? What do I do about my people and pets? What do I do about my stuff? How do I get health care? How do I get somewhere legally, get residency? How do I fix my mind? How do I heal from the place I came from? 8 steps to moving abroad. That's it. Those are the 8 steps. Those are the 8 steps to leaving your country. You can leave the United States if you can address those 8 things. So that's what we're going to work with women on inside of our new thing. That has a cute name that I can't tell you yet. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not telling you the name. Don't ask me. We're doing a new thing, and we're announcing it on Thanksgiving, 8 p.m. Eastern Time in the Exodus Summit YouTube channel, on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel. Okay, yeah, there's 8 steps to being able to leave, to peace out. 8-step, peace out protocol. Every woman inside of our community who's already moved abroad, who's already peaced out, that's what she's done. 8 steps. That's the peace out protocol, and that's what we'll be coaching you on, teaching you. Both coaching, teaching, doing, working with you on together. Okay? How to get the links for one-on-one house sitting or house sitter school. House sitter school, what is the link to house sitter school? I always drop the link to the house sitter toolkit. If you get the toolkit, I'll email you. You automatically get an email about house sitter school. If you join the new thing that we're going to start doing, you're going to get house sitter school included. But what is the link to standalone house sitter school? Let me try a few things. Let me try a link or two. Is it Vicarious? It's vicarious.com/getbooked, I think. Get booked. Yes, House Sitter School is vicarious.com/get booked. House Sitter School is me coaching you on getting a house sit. It's some videos that you watch on demand, and it's a one-time group call that we do together. I would like to get a second opinion on heart issues overseas. That's the only thing holding me back. Watch this video, okay? We talked to a woman who had a medical concierge help her with her move abroad. Hold on, let me get the video. I gotta go to YouTube, and then I gotta go to Exodus Summit, and then I gotta type in Andrea and Jean. Exodus Summit's YouTube channel, and then Andrea, which, oh, there's a video. Okay, moving abroad to Portugal with autoimmune disease. Share, copy. Okay, watch this video. She talks about getting a medical concierge, which helped her find the right place to move to with the right healthcare professionals. Wonderful idea. Very smart. This is why you get in community with people. I feel like I need to clean this off. This is why you get in. Did that help? No. That's why you get into community with people. I guess it's just the glare from the window. Let me turn this way a little bit. I don't want you to see their living room, though. I'm in the little. Okay. Yeah, this is why we get support from people who've done things ahead of us. So yeah, try if you have a specific medical concern that you're going to need care for, ongoing care for. You want to make sure you're going to a place where you can receive that care, right? You probably can. If people there have that disease, then doctors there treat that disease, okay, or whatever it is. But yeah, there's such a thing as a medical concierge who helps you navigate that process, helps you find the right people in the right place. Now the concierge that she used is Portugal specific, right? So you may need a medical concierge who specializes in your country. I don't know enough about this yet to know how to navigate that, but in that video, she gave good info, okay? The video is called, it's on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel. The video is called Moving Abroad to Portugal with Autoimmune Disease / Black Family Exodus. And yeah, she talked about working with the medical concierge to get her in the right town, right? To get her the right doctors at the right hospital, everything. She was very pleased with it, right? Andrea is a woman who has had to make decisions for herself based on her health care needs, right? Like it's been a main priority in her life. If your healthcare needs today are not the main, have not needed a whole lot of attention, then you probably don't need to make healthcare a super important part of your move abroad. But if you do have something that means that you need to prioritize medical care, then do that. Okay, she says, thanks, I have it saved. Okay, good, good, good. All right. If Revolutionary Women's Radio says it's analysis paralysis and decision fatigue holding me, I'm just going to need to jump scared. Get support. Get coaching. Get coaching. Get support. Get accountability partners. Okay? Whether it's me and Rashida or somewhere else, get support. This goes back to the feeling like I have to fix it or I have to do it myself. You can still be scared and do things. And you can still be tired and stuck in analysis paralysis and do things when you have support. When you don't have to do everything yourself. When you're not starting from zero on this thing. Right? It's easier to do things with support. That's what support means, right? Get somebody on your side who can help you. Decision fatigue is real. Like, it's real. I'm so sick of working on this. I'm so sick of figuring this out. It's probably because you're doing it yourself, right? That's why accountability partners and coaches are so valuable. Do that. Get in community with people who are working on the same thing. Get you some accountability partners and get you some coaching. You don't know. Rashida's here. You don't know. I wasn't silenced. You don't know. Yeah, Amina, I'm preparing to bop next year with an autoimmune condition. Curious to see if it only manifests in the US. Okay, so that's another thing you might find. Not a doctor. I am not a doctor, but that's another thing you might find. Some of those things that have been so prevalent in your life that you've had to make life decisions around may just be gone or a whole lot less impactful when you're not in this stressful, toxic stew, right? Might change some things. It might change some things. That's another important point, Amina. Thank you. Because that's what we put on the thumbnail for Andrea's video. Like, people were like, you can't move. What if you get sick? What if you get sicker? And she was like, well, what if I get better? What if I get better? Okay. Okay. And I think she's doing better in Portugal. Inside of Exodus Summit 2024, Dr. Michelle Skullock came and did a session on what to do before you go, right? What tests to do, what stuff to do before you go, what medical records to get, what prescriptions to grab before you go. The thing to remember is if your prescriptions are expensive, you may want to do your Googles, do your research, and find out, can you actually get that in the place you're going for less? So some things it makes sense to get 90 days, 180 days supply of. Some things, absolutely not. Don't get 180 days supply before you go, because once you get there, it's going to be so much cheaper, right? Might be over the counter and cheaper. So Michelle gave us a talking to inside of Exodus Summit 2024. If you have the All Access Pass, you still have the replays for Exodus Summit 2024's sessions. So watch Michelle's session. She gave us a good session on the medical stuff to do, the prep to do before you go. Okay? But I want to tell you also, remember, don't spend a whole lot of money on this stuff because it's probably going to cost you less where you're going. Right? That full medical workup in the United States, what would it cost you if your insurance is going to cover it and it's just a small copay? Do it. But if it's going to cost you a whole lot of money out of pocket, girl, do it when you do it where you going. Do it where you going. It's going to be less. Okay? Find a doctor that you like, a doctor that your community trusts. Do it there. It's going to be less. I'm not a doctor, and that is not medical advice. Okay? Y'all don't, I don't think so. I don't think, anyway, I don't think that's what's happening. Yeah. What if I get better? Okay. She look like she's doing better than me. Yeah. I'm not her doctor, but she looked pretty good to me. Where did I type what? D. Oliver, ask me what you're looking for. What are you looking for? Let me know again. Yeah, Nichelle, my research told me that full medical workups are less expensive in Mexico, Thailand, and Malaysia. Yeah, probably everywhere. Like, seriously, probably everywhere. People don't do the same healthcare as a profit generator in other countries as they do here. Healthcare is a profit mechanism for shareholders. Healthcare for shareholders? That's so American. Healthcare to benefit the shareholders? It's ridiculous. Stupid. What a dumb, what a heartless, soulless way to do healthcare. Yeah, Yannick Redwood's book, Quitting America, is good, and I think it's helpful. Yeah, I'm going to talk to her sometime soon. Unique Redwood, Adelia talked to her on her channel. Let me find that video. I was supposed to talk to her the other week, but my internet was bad and I was sick. It just didn't work. Adelia is picky, unique. But her book, she and her husband moved abroad, and she talked to Adelia here. Share, copy. Okay, there's the link to that video. Yeah, her book, We Quit America, or Quitting. Let me look. Let me see. I know Adelia has a link in there. wequitamerica.com. Yes, indeed. I'll need to talk to them sometime. Get them rescheduled sometime soon. All right. Okay. All right, friends. Thank you very much for spending your morning with me here in California at 7 a.m., which I'm not going to do too many more times. We got one more of these before I'm back on a normal, decent time zone. So, yeah, thank you. Oh, good. Rachel's book. She's a very good coach. Like I said, I wanted coaching from her. I'm so glad to get coaching from her. It was a wonderful conversation, a wonderful coaching session. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here, friends. Thank you for taking good care of each other in the chat. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for that money. And thank you very much for being so kind to me and to each other. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta see what these dogs are doing. I need to walk them. It's 9 o'clock now. I think they walk about 8 something. So I need to walk the dogs, give them their actual breakfast. I gave them treats to keep them quiet, but one of them won't take a treat from me. She doesn't like me at all. Yeah, and then take my rental car back. I got to do that this morning, and then do regular Saturday stuff. So nice to hang out with you guys today. Have a wonderful weekend. If I don't see you before then, I'll see you Thursday, Thanksgiving Day at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Exodus Summit YouTube channels so we can make our big announcement. Okay? And until then, have a wonderful week. I hope this Thanksgiving week is full of good food, good company, which can be just you. That's good company. I'm good company, right? Good food, good company, and a whole bunch of naps. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you guys again. Thanks, friends. Thank you. Okay. Bye, guys.